This video is made for adult collectors because even though I'm kind of iffy on this, I still do hope that they do new molds in the Prime Changers line. This is kind of fun.
Whoa, why is everything so bright? Why are you so bright? What is going on? No, that's too far. That's too much. There we go. That was weird. I don't remember setting my camera to be that bright unless I was somewhere else. Actually, I might have been shooting something in the other side of the room where there's no light. Anyways, Deluxe Mirage.
I was really hoping this would be as good as the Deluxe Megatron that came out, because they are both new molds as part of the Prime Changers line, and Mirage is weird. Like, it's still kind of hard for me to tell you if I really like this thing or not. Maybe an analysis in the form of video will help me come to a conclusion, so here goes. His proportions are weird. They're really long legs and the short stubby arms, the small feet, and the neck that sits really far forward in front of the shoulders. Like, visually, he's a mixed bag. I really like the deco, honestly. The blue flames are a bit of a strange choice, but it hits a lot of the Mirage notes. It's just, I don't know, looking at it, it's just weird. Before we go any further though, sponsor time. This video is sponsored by Toy Hacks. They make labels for your Transformers to make them look pretty and stand out on a shelf. Like, take Frequency here. He looks neat and all, but what if he had a giant mural on the side? Yeah, that's pretty cool. They've even done some third-party sticker sets if you want to spruce those up too, which is awesome. You can check them out linked below. Thank you very much for sponsoring this video. Now back to the actual toy. Honestly, the way he's built kind of reminds me of this mold. Sure, they are vastly different in their aesthetic and their transformations, but the way they've built themselves feels very similar to me. So I guess in that mindset, welcome back, Classics Mirage. Maybe, sorta, not really, but whatever. There is some nice sculpting on display here, but it can kind of get lost in the blue and the white. The gray pops the details fine enough, but there's some nice sculpting in the forearms that the flames kind of hide away. His face is too long, like weirdly long. It looks like Mirage, but something about it feels off, and his eyes are so hidden away that they're hard to make out. The backpack doesn't peg in, well, mostly, so it pegs in at the top, but not at the bottom, so it can get a little bit flimsy at times when you're trying to handle the thing. The inner legs are hollow. It doesn't bother me, but I know that will bother some, so it's worth pointing out. He comes with 2 guns, a shoulder cannon, and a pistol. Take that, Kingdom Mirage. Oh, they fixed it. Yay, finally. But here they look pretty nice on this dude. However, the shoulder cannon limits the shoulder articulation and likes to pop out when I move the shoulder around because it's on a 3mm peg. The knees are on ball joints, which is fine, but mine are just a tiny bit loose. I can fix that. I really do like how tall he is though. Coming in at around normal deluxe height, even for being cheaper, like next to B here, they're about the same height. But the plastic and the types of joint and paint and stuff, you could definitely tell it's cheaper. He's about $7 to $10 less over here. And that's a thing to consider. He has flaws, yes, but he's a lot cheaper than a normal deluxe. So there's a little bit of a leeway. However, Megatron was also cheaper, and yet he's borderline amazing. So, heels. He has some, but because of how heavy his back is and how small the feet are, he tends to fall over every once in a while. Articulation though is honestly pretty good. Removing the shoulder rockets so I can actually do poses. The head is on a ball joint, so you get some rotation and a bit of tilt as well as up and down. The shoulders can rotate a full 360 and go in and out. Plus, due to the transformation, there's a slight butterfly joint. Ball jointed elbows so they can bend and swivel. No wrist rotations, sad. Waist joint, ball jointed hips so they can go forward, back, in, and out. Ball jointed knees for thigh rotation that are a little loose and knee bend. Ankle tilt and ankle rotation. So not a bad set of joints, but it's where they're located that makes them a little bit strange. Getting him into poses is not hard. Making him look good in poses is what I find hard. The transformation is pretty neat because of like how unique it feels. The way the legs eat the car is actually pretty cool.
I want everyone to know something very funny that happened about an hour ago. Black Arachne has been sitting in spider mode for ages now. Her face fell off. It just came out. I can see the bits where the glue is supposed to be, and yet it's no longer attached. Oh, I have to glue it back on. She just sort of pooped her own face out, and whatever. Kingdom Toys, am I right? So speaking of Kingdom Toys, Mirage here kind of feels a little bit like Kingdom Mirage and where the limbs end up. I mean, it's sort of traditional Mirage nowadays, I guess. But the way that the legs work is something that caught me off guard when I first got this, and I thought is very interesting. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull the entire chest out. It tabs in very securely into here. Like, you have to press really hard to get that to clip into place and then pull really hard to get it out. But the chest comes out. Then we're going to fold this bit up and rotate the waist 180 degrees. Then what you want to do is, you see the stand port? This is going to plug into the stand port. You want to take the arms and you want to fold them forward, and they're going to just peg together at the shoulders and at the spoiler section that's folded up here. They don't peg together at the front, and I kind of wish they did, but at the same time, that's where the hands are. So if they put a peg there, he wouldn't be able to like hold anything. So like I get it. Then you want to take this back section here, unpeg it and rotate it around. And then you want to swing the legs at the hips up like this. And that'll get them out of the way. You can then bring this up. We're not going to peg it in just yet. You want to then take the feet and rotate them 90 degrees. And my neighbor's dog's barking. And then you want to combiner wars the legs in. They're on very tiny double joints in here. So it becomes a little bit annoying to like maneuver this because of how small the hinge is. And it didn't happen here, but I have popped it out. It's not a friction peg. It has just come off at some points for me. But once you get that, you want to fold this down, not all the way, just enough to clear the legs because they're going to eat the shoulder pegs, and then go around here and peg together at the feet like that. Then you bring this section around, plug that into the back, and then bring this center section down. Now getting this pegged in, it always wants to shove itself out on my copy right at the front here, and I don't know why. So what I do that sort of helps is I put a thumb here and a thumb here, and I press both at the same time, and that sort of squeezes everything into place. Then you take this bit, flip it up, it's going to clip in underneath here. You fold out the front wheels, and there you have Mirage in Formula 1 car mode. It's pretty easy once you figure out how it works. Doing the legs I think is extremely cool, but getting this pegged in I'm not a huge fan of. And I have had these pop off every once in a while, but like that's still pretty fun. I like doing that back and forth. It's not as satisfying as this, but it's very close to as satisfying as this, which is what I wanted.
That's a weird F1 car because it has a roof. I don't think any Formula type cars have roofs right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this feels very strange, like a concept or something. I don't know. I don't know much about Formula cars as that well. Well, not as well as my sister and my dad. They're the ones who are obsessed with that. I'm just a casual spectator. He is a bit stubby of a car and the roof is strange, but I like it, honestly. You do get blast effects I forgot to mention entirely until just now, but you can plug them into the back to do like a booster thing. He has clipped in wheels, but surprisingly rolls extremely well, and I think that's due to how thick the tires are. The weapons store on the top, you just plug them in and that's, well, Transformers. The flames do make a bit more sense here, but still feel a little out of touch in places on Mirage. It's all right. In the end, even for the cheaper price, I still wouldn't recommend it, honestly. It's okay, but there are a ton of little things I don't like that add up and feel strange. I know this will probably hit rollback like Prime, B, and Megatron did at some point at Walmart, so like I would recommend grabbing one of these at that point when they drop it down to like $19 instead of $29 here. But as it stands now for full retail price, I think I'm going more towards no. But that's been my look at, what's it called? Prime Changers Mirage. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.